latest moves after taking the oath was issuing sweeping executive orders to end diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives, all in the name of what he calls meritocracy in the workplace. So what do you think of getting rid of these DEI programs? And do you think he knows how to spell DEI?
So I fall somewhere in the middle on this. I generally think organizations are stronger when there's diversity, but I think it needs to be the whole host of diversity. So ideological, socioeconomic diversity, religious, not just race-based.
Not just based on race.
And I think that a lot of Americans generally agree that diversity makes things better. But I also think a lot of this country thinks, I want the federal government to work. I don't know that I think every agency needs 100 or dozens of employees focused on diversity if you can't get your VA benefits, if you feel like our schools are failing and falling behind, if you think it's too hard to get your Social Security benefits. So I think there's somewhere in between that most people fall. And I will say this, something that I've heard from both MAGA types and then like Bernie bros is DEI to some extent is a professional people problem. If you're working class in this country, if you're in the agriculture sector, if you're in the service industry, you don't even get to have a DEI office.
Is that true, really? Because I remember when I was younger, a black person would have a hard time getting into a union, for example.
Yeah.
That would be blue collar.
So unions do actually tend to have some level of DEI.
I don't know if that's true anymore, but that was true then.
I'm saying in a workplace, this isn't necessarily for a lot of working class Americans the first issue that they're coming up against is how do I make the workplace more diverse, or do we have a DEI officer? It's am I going to get paid on time? Is my check going to clear? Am I going to get enough hours to make ends meet?
Right. I think this is a really important issue, especially because when we're talking about DEI, we're not talking about a DEI office. We're talking about equal opportunity and inclusion across all offices for all people so that it is more reflective of what America looks like. This will specifically harm women, right? And it will specifically harm African Americans and Latinos. So we're not just talking about black jobs.
How about Asians?
It will affect Asians as well. And so I think this is really counter to his campaign promises to protect black jobs, because in the federal government, overwhelmingly, black professionals work there. We're talking about over 16%, more than the black population. And so I think what we're facing here is sort of a second nadir, because Woodrow Wilson, back in the day, did the same thing. He resegregated the federal government, leading to a plunge in income for not only black workers, but also for women. And so what we're seeing is an attack not on necessarily DEI or wokeness. We're seeing an attack on the very fabric of our company, which is opportunity for all, including women. And women, what Whoopi has said often, women were really the most, they gained the most advantages from affirmative action. And so this is a war on women. I think it's a war on people of color. And what we're going to see is a lot of pain, but especially to those communities that need those jobs.
And also one community that you didn't mention is the LGBTQ+.
Absolutely.
Look, one of the things he did, not only did he revoke a bunch of Biden executive orders, including one that calls for the negotiation of lower drug prices for people on Medicaid and Medicare. That's going to be very painful for Americans. But he also revoked an order, the Equal Opportunity order signed by Lyndon Johnson in 1965. So not only are we now going back 4 years.
He could sue Lyndon Johnson, maybe.
Well, we're not only, he's not taking us back 4 years. Yeah. He's taking us back to 1965 before it was legal for there to be...
Talking about diversity, equity and inclusion, which is the DEI that Donald Trump removed it. That's one of the things that he was always saying in his campaign that he was going to do. Actually, he acquired his desire, what he was saying. So the women in the view did not find that fun. According to them, that's going to be, the women are going to suffer that. The black race suffer that. The Latino and the Asian also, the minority in the society are going to suffer that, which is not a good one. So the women in the view were saying that it's not only fight about the DI, about this particular company. It's a fight against women, especially also fight against the black people, especially. So the women in the views were just saying that. So now it has restricted a lot of potential people, potential women potential people because of their race, because of their sex. They decide to be what they want to be, so he's not allowing them. So actually, the women in the views were just saying all that President Trump, what he's doing is not actually honorable for the American that they know. The American that everyone knows was that freedom, was that American that anyone you do what you want to do, is that one that you all see Martin Luther King's really fought for that we need to see what Martin Luther King's really fought, and see people will not be recognized because of their color. You'll be recognized because of what you have in you, not because of who you are, because of what you can do, what you can back. So not because of your race, not because of the way you look. That's why they'll put you in a position and you cannot deliver. You will be qualified. That's when you deliver what you have to give it out. So but now, according to them, President Trump just came into power. The first thing he did, that was what he did. So most companies now have abide to that particular system, and they are working on that particular they run with it what he just did, and which is going to impact a lot of people. They say this particular law school, there have been a decrease of people, of black people being admitted to that law school. Before a company have no choice. You hired because the constitution have said that, the law have said that. So you have to hire people not because you even like them. You hire them because of who they are. You hire them because of what they can do, not because of who they are. There are even complaints that now there are some companies that even when you go to it now, all you see is that you meet people who are not even qualified. You meet people who are just there. You meet people who are just there though. You meet people who cannot do their work, but because of your race, they will not even interview. We have scenario of people say that they have gone for an interview. Immediately the interviewer sees them because of their color and say, nope, I cancel the interview. They don't give no reason. They just cancel the interview. So they believe that sometimes if you're a woman or you're a person of color, there are certain jobs you cannot do. They just acknowledge that no matter how you can deliver. That's why it's that you have to work 10 times harder than a man if you're a woman, provided that also you have that different color, that your color does not match. So you have to work more harder for it. Rather than you're a woman, you have to work more harder. What do you really think about this? What do you really think about this? Can I see your opinion in the comment section? Thank you very much for watching. If you are not subscribed, please subscribe and help share my video.